It's the Shatkin First Down Pregame Show, presented by Dr. Todd Shatkin and the Aesthetic Associate Center, with your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Dr. Jared Shatkin, and our special guest, Buffalo Bills Hall of Fame running back Thurman Thomas. Now, from the Shatkin Sports Network studios in Amherst, here are your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Jared Shatkin.
Welcome to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. What a show we have lined up. Thurman Thomas, Bills Hall of Fame running back, will join us for a solo segment as well as for part of the Mafia as well. Of course, we'll break down the Panthers game after our 2 weeks off. Dr. Jared Shatkin joins us here in the opening segment to talk a little bit about the Falcons game. By the way, are you rested up? Are you ready?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely rested up, and it's going to be a great show. I'm excited.
Okay, good. Awesome. The Falcons game, I know we don't want to spend a whole lot of time on that because it's been the 2 weeks. I think it's kind of talked out, but I think we know kind of what happened. But I want to speak a little bit more to the defense, right, in terms of Bijan Robinson. So Bijan Robinson obviously has a monster game against the Bills. Then he goes against the 49ers and is relatively inefficient and not successful against a team of backups and rookies where the Bills had no answer for him.
Well, I do like the way they came out in the second half and they stopped the run, and I think it had to do a lot with what they did at linebacker. I think getting, unfortunately Bernard goes down, but you get a little bit bigger guy in Shaq Thompson coming in, and he's playing downhill. He's playing outstanding football, and they did a good job on him there. And I think Dorian Williams is a natural middle linebacker. Put him at weak side linebacker, makes him have to, cover more of the field and use a little bit more of his athleticism, which he is, but he's also very instinctual at the middle linebacker position. And I like the way he played at the end of that game too. So I think really what we got to do, we got to load the box this game.
And thank you to mentioning the athleticism part of things. So I wanted to ask you about that too, because we talked before we went on camera about that game, the Falcons game, and how Josh looked really confused for the first time in a long time based on all athleticism. All Atlanta was doing was putting their athletes in motion and figuring out a way how to confuse him, and that's something the Bills have got to take care of.
Yeah, I mean, they really didn't have an answer for the Atlanta Falcons blitz, and that's not something I thought I would see coming. I don't see anybody on that defensive side of the ball that scares me enough to be like Josh Allen's going to get shut down. He's had some issues versus their defensive coordinator. He had some issues last year with the Jets, but they had a good game plan going in, but besides that, I think the team just needs to be coached up a little better on what to do in those situations. I think the receivers aren't on the same page as Josh. Josh didn't have his favorite target out there, Kincaid, and it looked pretty rough.
I feel like this team needs some attitude. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think they go into these games kind of assuming that their talent is just going to take over and they have Josh Allen so they could do it. Well, what if Josh Allen has an off game like he did that night? The rest of the team decides to crumble. So I think they have to have a change and realize that nothing is going to be given to them this year. These teams have an X on their schedule when they play the Bills. They're playing the MVP from last year, and the Bills have to have an X on their schedule for every game now. They have to realize they have to take the intensity up a level, and they have to start playing like they did last year.
Especially with the conference sort of still kind of up for grabs. I mean, the conference is kind of going like this week in and week out, but there's a couple of people that are steady, and that has been the Colts. They've been steady, and the Chiefs are only getting better. So you have to assume that the Bills have got to progress, and it starts this weekend against the Panthers.
Exactly. It's not just that they have to start winning. They have to start kind of getting in a little bit of a role here. You got the Patriots, who are winning a lot of games now and looking phenomenal with a really good passing offense. You got a lot of well-coached teams out there. So the Bills need to start putting their best foot forward starting this week.
Absolutely. All right, we'll talk more about the Panthers game a little bit later in the show. But next up, Bills Hall of Fame running back Thurman Thomas joins us on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Shatkin here with Hall of Fame running back Thurman Thomas.
My family and I have been coming to Dr. Shatkin's dental office for years. The office is beautiful and the staff is outstanding.
Thanks, Thurman. It's been an honor for me to take care of you and your family.
For a Hall of Fame smile, go where the pros go. Dr. Todd Shatkin at the Aesthetic Associate Center.
Call today for a free consultation, 839-1700.
Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Rich Gaenzler and Bills Hall of Fame running back 34, Thurman Thomas. Great seeing you, my man.
Thanks for doing this.
We appreciate you. Let me start off with the last couple of Bills losses. Obviously, it's sort of trending for the Bills and disturbing at the same time when the last 3 or 4 years, this time of year, the Bills are sort of playing down to their opponent. They lose these kind of freaky games that they probably shouldn't lose. They're favored to win but lose. Then we know the history too. They come back off a bye and always win. They haven't lost 3 in a row under Josh Allen's tenure as the starting quarterback. So is it even explainable as to why they have these sort of mid-season or early to mid-season lulls against teams they should have successes against?
Well, yeah, it's kind of scary to look at this team, and because this is a quality football team. From top to bottom. We may not have the players that we had 3-4 years ago. But Brandon Beane has done, I think, a pretty good job of bringing players in and out and being able to adapt to the culture that they have over there. So, and one of these things that's happened in the last couple of years is like we've lost 2 in a row. And like one of these games are going to come back to haunt us, maybe to not get that number 1 seed. It's been that way for the last couple of years. There's always been a game or two that we didn't win that cost us that number 1 seed. So, look, they're coming off the bye week. They have a great record coming off the bye week. They're almost undefeated. I think they're 8-0 coming off the bye week under Sean McDermott. Yep. So, this is a team that needs to come out ablazing because you've had a week and a half to rest. You're getting 2 of your starters that you really want to play on the defensive line coming back who were suspended for the first 5 or 6 games. Those guys should be fresh, but I have to play caution to that because they haven't played football in 6 or 7 weeks. And when you haven't played football in 6 or 7 weeks, you get back out there, a hammy, or because you're not used to the flow of the game. So it'd be interesting to see because I'm really looking forward for this Bills defense to start bouncing back and start playing top-notch football. Now, I know in the last couple of years they've been ranked 16th, 17th in the middle. You know what? They need to up it up a little bit, be like number 10 or something around there. If you're number 10 and you're in the top 10, you're doing something. You're creating havoc, and hopefully that can be the case.
All right, so listen, you're a running back. So I got a lot of running back questions for you. Yeah. Obviously, that's your expertise, right? So James Cook, clearly. Yeah. A lot of people talking about the Falcon game and how was this guy possibly not in on 3rd and 4th down? You got to have your arguably 1A offensive player in the game in those situations, right?
Yeah, you would think.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there watching every 3rd down play go down. I'm like, man, where's James Cook? It's not like Atlanta was blitzing every play, but hey, if you're going to be out there, you still scare people. You scare the defense. Now, if you're out there, they might have been thinking, well, this is a time to blitz. Oh, look who we got in the backfield. We got James Cook in the backfield. Maybe we shouldn't blitz now because he can be a guy that Josh can hit out in the flat or take it up the sideline or whatever. But so I know there was a lot of people earlier talking about, oh, we're using Cook too much. He's going to wear him down. Well, he hasn't been used his first 3 or 4 years, so now is the time to use him right now to take some of the pressure off of Josh Allen because Josh has been carrying this offensive team for the last 6 or 7 years. We pretty much know that. And so when you give him opportunities to be out there to catch the football or run the football, he just adds another excitement to the game, and it causes the defense a lot of trouble.
Yeah, totally. Whole different dimension. When you can line him up anywhere on the field, it's automatically a mismatch usually for most people, right?
Yeah.
And the other thing about him, too, and we've talked about this on the show as well, yeah, he's getting more carries, but the guy doesn't take big hits, right? No. He's so slippery, right?
Yeah, we talked about that all the time, during the game. We're talking about, the running backs and what they're doing. And he's not a guy who's going to take a direct hit on anybody. Besides that, he's breaking ankles out there anyway, and so he's a guy who's not going to take a – and even though he played in the SEC at the University of Georgia where, it's a physical conference, when you go back and watch film, didn't take hits there. He makes guys miss him. And when you have a guy like that, he's supposed to be on the football field at least 75 to 80% of the time.
Yeah, for sure. So obviously the last couple of losses, people are pointing to lack of depth, injuries. What do you think needs to have happened in these last 2 weeks since the Falcon game going into the Panthers game for this team's mindset to be right, even though they might not be playing with their best players?
Well, you know what?
Loaded question, I know.
Yeah, it's a loaded question, but you know what? When you're a Super Bowl contender in the National Football League and you're one of the top AFC teams, in the AFC, you get it done. You find a way to get it done, no matter who. I mean, it's always, you hear this phrase, next man up. Well, Brandon Beane, Sean McDermott know this team better than anybody. It's next man up. But I think, we have to be more physical, really. You look at the last couple of losses, and let me tell you something right now. This Carolina team, they're going to be physical. They got 2 running backs back there that can run the football, and that's what they're going to probably end up trying to do. Since Bryce Young is not going to be playing in the game, I think it's Andy Dalton.
Yep.
Andy Dalton's going to be back there. And I know one thing right now, Andy Dalton would love to hand that football off 40 times than to have him throw it 40 times. I can tell you that right now. And they got some, their offensive line is getting real physical. The guy Rico, I mean, he's been total yards over scrimmage, over 200 yards the last couple of games. So they're going to, I think the motto in Carolina is pound the rock. Look for them to try to do that against this Bill defense.
Yeah, and the Bills haven't been able to stop the run. I mean, they're one of the worst teams in the league against the run. So what do you do? I mean, clearly, what I'm hearing from you is make the Panthers one-dimensional, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Make them
stop the run.
one-dimensional.
So how are we stopping that powerful run game?
Look, we got to – I think right now what we have to do is just look, Benford, whether it's Hairston or Trey White or whatever, you got to lock down these receivers.
Yep.
You have to lock down these receivers because we're going to put 8 men in the box to stop this run right now. You have to. So, and they might see that for the rest of the year. So these guys better get ready to do some man-to-man coverage and play some zone. I know Sean McDermott likes to play a lot of zone or whatever, but those guys, the front 7, the 4 down linemen and the linebackers, they need to come to play.
Yeah, it's interesting because the Bills typically play 5 in the back end when Taron Johnson's in the game. So do you go 4-3 now and take Taron Johnson out of the game? Do you have him play at a corner position? Like, how would you?
I think, you know what, and it's probably one of those decisions where, why is Taron Johnson not playing? Well, I don't think the Carolina Panthers wide receivers are capable of beating our defensive backs. I just don't see it. I mean, I can't even name who are they receivers.
Ted McMillan and Xavier Legette.
Oh, Legette, yeah, he's okay, but not speedy guys, but kind of big guys, right? Yeah. So let's we're gonna stop the run first. We're gonna put 7 in. Sorry, Taron Johnson, you're gonna be on the sideline for a lot of these plays. So we're gonna make sure that we tighten up this run defense first.
And Shaq Thompson, former Panther, could have a big role at linebacker.
He
is
playing outstanding football right now. Yeah, and plus, he used to play with Carolina, right? So it's kind of a homecoming for him. So he's going to be fired up, and he's going to have this team fired up. They need a dominant win, really bad.
For sure. Lastly, I got to ask you about running backs because it seems like in the last few years, people are like, oh, they're devaluing running backs. But in the last couple, like this year and last year, between Barkley, McCaffrey, James Cook, I mean, you can go down the list. There's 15 or 20 really high-end running backs in this league. So it looks like offenses are starting to make a little bit of switch back to your day.
Yeah, and I'm absolutely loving it, too. I'm absolutely loving it. This is, I was looking at, they had, maybe 12 guys that rushed for over 1,000 yards last year, and now it looks like it might be 20 guys that rush for over 1,000. And I know they're playing extra games or whatever, but that tells me that these defenses now, because remember, years ago, it was all about getting to the pass rusher, and you found pass rushers. Now, those pass rushers are still here. Now we got a tackle and some tight ends that are blocking their butt right now, and I think that's what's creating the problem right now. They don't have the build to stop these tight ends from blocking them. Jackson Hall, I love him. Oh, it's great tight end. But you see those up and down the league now. Those are the extra offensive linemen that they're putting out there now. Being the 6th offensive lineman, they can also go downfield and catch the football too.
No doubt. Great points. Can you stick around for the Mafia segment?
Absolutely,
Beautiful.
I will.
All right, Thurman Thomas joins us with the Mafia next as we continue with the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
Okay, team, we're down by 6 with only 1 play left. It's comeback time. Yeah! We need a play. The reverse ribeye, no good. The porterhouse pitch, too risky. The strip steak sweep, that's it. Go Russell! Touchdown! Where would you like to have dinner tonight? Russell's, of course. Be my guest and let us do the rest.
I was in a car accident. My front tooth cracked. I'm definitely embarrassed to smile. I got mini dental implants. It changed my life because it made me feel like me. Like I can smile and feel like Ashley. I just want to say thank you.
Mini dental implants can change your life too. You can be you again. Call us at 839-1700 for a free consultation.
I'm more than happy. I'm ecstatic.
Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Time to go in the pocket. All right, in the pocket, UFL quarterback Sam Castronova, Western New York native, on the show as always, week after week. Surprise quarterback. We get Andy Dalton, and I know what everybody's thinking. Oh no, Andy Dalton, it's going to be Joe Flacco, it's going to be Jacoby Brissett. What do we know about Andy Dalton? What can we expect?
The Red Rocket. I mean, he comes in, he's always been incredibly accurate with the football, doesn't turn it over a bunch. Probably not going to be running around too much at this stage in his career, but he can get offense going. He's probably kind of a glorified game manager at this point. But if their run game gets going, then you work the play action off of that, and we'll see. So we got to stay gap sound and stop the run first, because that Dowdle's been going off lately. So if we can do that, then I think we'll be all right. But the Red Rocket will always have a special place in our hearts.
Of course, as always. All right, Sam, thanks very much, and let's go to the Mafia. Get rid of that ball. Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show, joined by the Mafia. Thurman stuck around because he's a member of the Mafia, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, hardcore. And Dr. Todd obviously is here. Again, we know Dr. Jarrett. Scott Marston's here. He's been here many times before from the South Rotary. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
I know you got a lot to talk about with us in terms of what the Rotary is doing.
Absolutely.
Big November event, right?
We do. We have a big trivia night coming up on
Awesome.
November 8th. We'll be benefiting not only the Amherst schools, but also some of our food pantries locally as well. Get your team together, sign up, come on out, have a good time.
Very, very good. And how can people do that?
They can do it by going to our Amherst South Rotary page on Facebook to get the more information. And that'd be the best place to find out.
All right, so here we are with the Mafia. We've had a little time to digest the Atlanta loss, right? And a lot of time to talk about it and be mad about it and then kind of let it all wear off. But, Scott, has it worn off for you?
I think the week off is probably the best thing that we could have going on for the Bills at the moment. Give them time to reset, get some healthy bodies back, maybe take a look at what we used to do, get back to fundamentals. I think that's one thing that was really missing. We're not tackling that great. We also have the MVP playing for us. Let's start using him a little bit more. You know, number 34 over here might tell us maybe get James Cook involved a little bit more in the passing game. I seem to remember a guy who knew how to catch the ball in the backfield over here, and I think that'd be a great addition to our offense.
Dr. Todd, let's go to you now. I mean, everything that was just talked about, fundamentals. I think a lot of people have left the last two losses saying, wait a minute, fundamentals. Sean McDermott talks about fundamentals all the time, and yet we can't tackle. Lots of penalties, bad times, lots of mental mistakes. Those are fundamentals.
Absolutely. I think the big thing that I see is predictability. We're very predictable, and if I can see it as a dentist, the other teams can see it.
Wait, you're not watching film like the other? You're not game planning?
There's no creativity. It's just we used to be so exciting to watch. Let Josh be Josh again. Let him throw the ball. Let him run. Let him do things that he can do. He's an athlete.
All right, I'm going to ask you this because a lot has been talked about in terms of the receiver corps. Well, they can't get open. We need a speed guy. How much of that is true, and how much of this is play calling? And you hear the phrase "scheme the guy to get open," right? You hear that a lot too, right?
I tell you what, I'm looking at Kansas City, and they got Rice back, they got Worthy back, and they have Hollywood Brown.
And they might have a tight end too.
And the tight end too.
He's
who
okay.
had his best game last year when this was the first time that those three guys played together in quite a while. And Travis Kelce had his best game because you know why? Those guys were running deep. He was coming across. They looked like the Kansas City from 2 or 3 years ago, which is a scary thing to say because coming up to this year, I was betting that they wouldn't even make the playoffs. The way that they were looking, they were 1-3 maybe. I think what we need to do, and there's a whole bunch of things that is going on. I think in my mind and a bunch of the fans' mind is that, hey, you know what? We haven't seen the deep ball. Josh Palmer, first play of the game, deep ball. I'm like, okay, now we're going to continue to see this. But after that, everything was shut down. Josh ended up with 180, 200 yards passing, and to throw it on the flip side. I read a stat that said out of the 10 plays that were third down and fourth down, Cook was not on the field. He's the second best player on the football team. You need to have him out there. I've said this a million times, and I'm surprised I haven't gotten a text or anything from Brandon Beane or Sean McDermott, because, I mean, I feel like this guy is a weapon, and we need to use him more. I watched Jamar Gibbs the other night, and screen plays, running plays, passing plays, out of the backfield. That's what Cook can do.
And I can't imagine if 34 wasn't in the game on 10 third downs and a fourth down in the heyday. You would have been a guy that was a little PO'd, I'm assuming.
You want Kenny Davis or you want me out there? That's just the way it is.
We love Kenny Davis.
And I love Kenny. He saved my career. You know, he extended my career for a number of years being on the short yardage and goal line package that Marv Levy had. So, yeah, absolutely. But having that guy out there, he's a playmaker. And if he's out there on those third down, he scares the defense.
Sure.
He scares the defense.
Move him around just like the Falcons move Bijan Robinson around, and like they always do, right? Yeah. I haven't touched on you, Jared. A lot of people, you know, what's your biggest frustration position-wise, and where do the Bills need to go at the deadline?
Well, I've been saying their biggest issue is wide receiver since this summer, even when Brandon Beane was yelling at me for it. So I'm going to continue to say I think wide receiver is the biggest issue. I think Thurman talking about how Kansas City has those 3 field stretchers. I don't know if we necessarily have a field stretcher. I'm not saying Keon Coleman's a field stretcher. Maybe Josh Palmer's a field stretcher, but he also could not be. And we're not putting these guys in the situations where they can be shown like that. So I truly think that we need to look for a number 1 receiver. And if we don't look for a number 1 receiver, I think Dalton Kincaid needs to get so many more snaps. He can't be 52% of the time on the field. He's got to be at least about 75%.
And he's got to stay healthy. Stay healthy. That's been a big issue for him. Let's get a score prediction, then we got to do some trivia. Scott, what do you think? Bills, Panthers.
I think this is a rebound week. Bills 31, Panthers 17.
Dr. Todd.
28-14 Bills.
Thurman.
27-14 Bills.
Okay, very good. We'll do our prediction in a second. Now, time for Sorrentino's Tino's Dough. One trivia question about the Bills and Panthers. It's about the Panthers. I think you're going to know this going away, but I'll ask it anyway. Okay. Who was the first ever Carolina Panther quarterback? Anyone know?
Frank Reich.
Frank Reich! Well done, my friend. Frank Reich was the first ever quarterback for the Panthers. People always say, oh, was it Scott, or was it Berline? Was it Kerry Collins? Nope, it was Frank Reich. Well done. Sorrentino's for everybody at the table. Nice work, Scott. One more time, how can people find out about the South Rotary?
If you want to go to our Amherst South Rotary Facebook page, all the information on our Trivia Night fundraiser on November 8th, right here at the Amherst Family Center on Sheridan Drive. You'll get that information there. Sign up, come out and have a good time. We're going to be lots of trivia, some other giveaways, and, share some fellowship with your friends.
Yeah, and be ready for Team Shatkin F.I.R.S.T to come and destroy all of you that are thinking about going. All right, fellas? All right. Thank you to the Mafia members. Thurman, thank you, man. Appreciate you coming, as always.
Thank you.
Back after this, we'll break down the Bills and the Panthers. Myself and Dr. Jared right after this.
It's apple picking time. When was the last time you bit into an apple? With affordable Shatkin mini dental implants, you can. Stabilize your dentures and replace missing teeth in as little as 1 visit. You can be you again, only better. Call the Aesthetic Associate Center today at 716-839-1700 for your free consultation.
It means a lot to be able to work with my dad to continue this legacy that we have going on.
I had many implants. Once I got them, it was like the old me came back.
The changes you can make in such a short period of time in somebody's life, have somebody in the chair crying because they finally have a full set of teeth. And I think the only way to do it in that type of time period for that type of price is really the mini implant.
Mini dental implants can change your life too. Call us at 839-1700 for a free consultation.
Welcome back. Shatkin F.I.R.S.T Down Buffalo pregame show. Time to talk the Panthers. Rich Gaenzler, Dr. Jared Shatkin. Jared, I feel like, and they're in the same division, I feel like the Panthers and the Falcons game are almost identical. The fact that both teams had great running games, right? Mm-hmm. And the fact, like, they're teams that, because they're in the division they're in, most Bills fans aren't really aware of who who their roster is built up on and who's on their teams. I look at most of the Panthers defense. I have no idea who most of the guys are on that team. I have no idea who most of their offensive linemen are on that team. And I could have said the same thing about the Falcons, and we lost to the Falcons. So what do you make of this game going in? What do the Bills need to do to snap this losing streak and start a run on Sunday?
It sounds simple, but they have to be more physical than the Falcons. They have to run the ball, and they have to stop the run. And that's basically it. If they run the ball and open up play-action pass, they're going to be able to win this game. And if they can stop the Panthers' running game and make them one-dimensional, I don't think Andy Dalton's got 40 throws in him.
Yeah, I agree with you. And look, I said on a podcast earlier this week that I don't care if the Bills are boring. If boring football wins you football games, be boring all day, every day.
Yeah, well, at least start off boring. Start by doing what we do best,
Correct.
which is being really good up front and running the football. I know it's tough to say that when you have the MVP as the quarterback, but that's not working right now. The passing game is wonky. It's just not happening right now. So, you know what? Get back to basics. Get the ball up the middle to James Cook. He's running for about 5 yards a rush right now, and things will open up after that.
Do you think the Bills defensively play heavy? Do you think that will be the game plan for Bobby Babish to stop the run first and try to make the Panthers one-dimensional?
Yeah, I think they have to. I think Rico Dowdle's a phenomenal running back, and they got Chuba Hubbard back in the mix. They're a big physical team, so you have to match that. And, yeah, there's a couple guys who can scare you on the outside, but like I said, that quarterback is a game manager. He's not going to go out there and throw for 500 yards on you. Just kind of, beat them with physicality, get a pass rush, and dominate this game early.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, Andy Dalton is not going to be Joe Flacco. He's not going to be Jacoby Brissett. Why? Because the Panthers don't have T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, and they don't have Marvin Harrison and Trey McBride. They just don't. McMillan and the Gat are guys. They're not stars yet. They might be someday. They're not yet. And for the Bills to shut them down and kind of keep them on pace where they've played, like the Bills can't let those guys have breakout games this weekend. They can't. So they have to lock them down, stop the run. And I think they're going to be able to do this. I think they're the better team, certainly on paper. And, of course, we know the stats, right? The Bills don't lose 3 games in a row with Josh Allen at quarterback. They always come off the bye well. So I would think, based on, and we'll have your prediction here in a second, that I think the Bills do win. So your prediction?
I think we do win. I think we dominate this game. I think 31-14 is a good number.
Awesome. I have 31-17. We're on the same page. We think alike, which is awesome. So go Bills. I think this is a start to something good. And, by the way, they have to have some good vibes because guess who comes next? The Kansas City Chiefs. You do not want to go into the Kansas City game with 3 losses in a row on your docket. All right, we got to thank Cassetti Associates, Dr. Todd Shatkin, Dr. Jared Shatkin, Sorrentinos, Russells, and Napoli's, and of course you for watching. This has been the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Thanks for watching. Go Bills.
In the Pocket is sponsored by Mini Dumpster Rental. Call 716-429-6362. This has been a production of the Shatkin Sports Network.